Okay guys, welcome back. As you can tell, I'm up on the camper roof. We're about to attempt to fix this water leak. Now, let me state that since I put that Eternabond tape down, I haven't had any water leaks up here. I have, the front of this thing kind of comes this way and then it bends back. I have had some down there, which I think are more related to the window at this point in time. And I am going to check that out as well. Maybe just something simple like seal around it again. But anyways, if you've been following along, I've repaired old water damage, particularly from this corner. On the interior, there was like all the wood was rotted out, the framing was rotted. We've taken care of all of that, and it's just an opportunity. It's Saturday morning, it's sunny, it's nice. Now's the time. This video, here's the moral of it. Plan is, take the Eternabond tape off, take all them screws out, lift that cap, new butyl tape down, screw it back down, put more Eternabond tape back down. In theory, it sounds simple. It does not sound complex. This is a metal roof camper. Other than at the seams here, everything else is one solid piece. We've had pretty good luck with it. I feel like I'm kind of a little nervous because I don't know if it's necessary or not to do this. Like the Eternabond might be a temporary fix. I don't know if it's a permanent fix. I'm like, well, let me get back there. And I don't plan on doing this again. But here's the point of today's. I've never done this. It is 10:15 in the morning. We'll document little clips of this. I don't even want to sit through the entire thing. Let's say it takes me an hour, even if it was an hour, and that's a fairly quick job. Like, you don't want to sit there for an hour watching me unscrew it and all that stuff. So I'll check in. We'll see how long this takes. I'll tell you when we're done. And if it's something that if you've never done before, but you have a camper and you want to fix some water damage, like, okay, do it right. That's my goal. My goal is to show you, to not be intimidated by it and be like, yeah, it really wasn't so bad. I hope I don't totally screw up my camper because I kind of like this camper. So let's see how this thing goes. Let's get moving. Okay. The theories of this work are always so much simpler than the actual doing of the work. It sounds so easy. Just a short status update. 30 minutes in, it's 10:45. So I said like an hour for the project. I've spent 30 minutes trying to get this sealant out of here so I can get to the screws. And I'm just over halfway. Now I feel like I'm getting a little better at it. So hopefully it doesn't take another half hour. But yeah, 30 minutes just for that. I originally thought this was caulk. I assumed they had just caulked it, but clearly it's dicor because I've removed caulk before, and this is not caulk. It's very difficult. I am using this pry bar with a nice little pointy sharp edge to get in here and help get this out. Not a whole lot of it pulled. Every once in a while I get a nice little tear, but a lot of it I'm having to scrape out. Okay, it's now 11. That was not fun. My next step I'm going to go ahead and take is I'm going to use a wire brush with my drill, and I'm going to get some of this dicor sealant that's on the edges of this piece. And my thought process to that is that I'm going to want to have it as cleaned up and smoothed up as possible when I put it back on and when I seal it back up. So that didn't remove the sealant, but I do feel like it helped to clean up the area some. All right, so the next little obstacle I've had to deal with is that the square-headed screws are what are used in like this whole camper all around. And I was trying to use a screwdriver, like a small flat tip, to get some of the, so there's sealant in the head of every one of those. And I would either try to use a screwdriver or just press, and couldn't get them. Even if I got a little bit out, it would strip it. So I think I've resolved that at this point. Went deep into my toolbox, found this little, I don't even know what you call these, and I don't remember what I've used it for, but this nice little pick type of tool, and it's annoying. This is yeah, I'm having a blast doing this, guys. All I've done so far is take off sealant and get some of the screws out, but at least if I use this, I can get that out of there, cleaned out, so I can get a bite and get the screws out. So it's a process. Looking at the roof, I find it interesting. You see all that butyl tape that's there. It's through here. This cap seems all right, seems solid. Some of the staples are coming up. We'll staple it down again real good. But in the side that had water damage, not a whole lot of butyl tape, and we got a little bit of a gap going on underneath here. And so I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna see if there's something I could do to like connect the two and shore this up, because over here it's, you know, it's stayed with it, it stayed flush, and down here it kind of sagged. But yeah, so not looking too bad, but you definitely can see where the water was coming in at. Okay, I'm really starting to get somewhere, although it's been much longer than I thought. So I got that metal bar off, cleaned it up, cleaned the butyl tape off of the back side of it, cleaned up all the butyl tape that was up here in this area, as well as the dicor. I peeled it all off, used the wire brush, wire wheel, cleaned up the outside of that surface. Next step is I'm going to pull these staples, peel that back, get the butyl tape out of there, and then it's time to start moving. Well, then I got to clean everything. I'm going to clean it with some vinegar and rags, and then it's time to put it all back together. I'm feeling very comfortable. The only thing I'm nervous about is these edges, the corners. Like, I want to have that good and sealed. I think I am going to go buy some dicor today. Hopefully I can find some locally. I was just going to use Eternabond and butyl tape, but now I'm starting to feel like I should use dicor as well, or dicor over top of everything. I also want to point out one more major thing that I am very thankful for doing the inside and outside at the same time. I'm not going to climb off the roof right now, but you remember a few minutes ago I showed you how the butyl tape was not really on this corner, which is the side that had the leak. And if you noticed, I'm stepping back right now, you may have noticed in the video a few minutes ago there seemed to be a sag in the roof there. Well, and then through pulling out the interior walls and stuff and repairing it, I did notice that it had rotted out. The stud that was right pretty much here, from about here to there, it had rotted out. Nothing was supporting that, and it sagged, and that's why it wasn't attached, and that's where the leaks really happened, at least to my belief, by seeing the inside and out. So if you notice now, it's really sitting up a lot higher. That's because I got a couple pieces of wood and got them in there and screwed them in, and support beams, and so I shored this whole area up on the interior, which means the roof is not sagging here, which means that I should have a good ability with this to keep this up and not sagging like it was. In my mind as well, I don't want to separate this too much. I don't want to peel it like way back. It's gonna be one of those where when I put the butyl tape back in and I like clean this area up, I'm wanting it to be close, such as this, so that my form of everything and whatnot is still close, and I can put it all back together. I don't want to be, you know, putting new holes or anything like that in it, if that makes any sense at all. So I use that vinegar. I'm not worried about like the butyl tape residue and whatnot that's still there. That stuff is so sticky, it's so hard to get off. Like, it'll bond and adhere to all that. It's not going anywhere. Basically just getting rid of the loose surface dust, loose surface dirt, all those things, to clean it up and let that dry. So my wishful thinking estimate for this job didn't sound hard at all. It was like an hour. Now I know that things always take longer than they sound, so I realized it wasn't going to be an hour, but I'm gonna call that the wishful thinking estimate. So we started this at 10:15 this morning. What time is it now? 1:30. So just over 3 hours to get to where we are ready to put things back together. So definitely not an hour job, at least a half a day. We'll see how this continues on. I hope that the rest, oh yeah, in this 3 hours, every single step of it has sucked. Not fun removing any of that stuff. So, all right, we're ready. I've got some new butyl tape, some thicker. Here's my butyl tape I got off Amazon. Here's some I just went to an RV store that bought. This is 1.5 inches, which is what was on here. Getting ready to get going. I'm ready to start putting this back together. Before I do so, I wanted to share a thought. You know, I get a little in my head sometimes, start to stress and wonder like, oh, what if I don't fix this, and is the camper ruined, and what's the point of all of this? And the reason I'm showing in there so close right now is because I kind of stopped after all that, you know, negativity in my head and thought to myself, this is a 43-year-old camper, and look at the condition of the front end of this. Now, yes, water got in over there and we've cut that out and repaired that stuff, but 43 years, this thing's held up pretty good. The butyl tape, the seam, all that stuff, like, obviously it's a new job, a repair job. Hopefully me opening up doesn't, you know, open a can of worms and make things worse, but that has held up for 43 years. And so as long as I do it right, there's no reason it shouldn't hold up for another 20, 10, 5, whatever. As long as I'm not back in here in 6 months by the end of the summer because I got roof leaks everywhere, it's worth this effort. So let's get back to work. Let's get this thing going back together. This is probably the part I'm most curious about. I have my battery powered nail guns, but they're not staples. I have my nail gun that has staple attachment, this air compressor. I can't really use that up here. And then I just got this regular stapler. Like, I need to get this all down and on here, holding, and go from there. And so I'm kind of wondering about that one. I think I might just use the battery powered nail gun with the nails that come with it. I feel like it really is just to get it down, and from there the screws and the strip are what's going to hold everything. Okay, so I've tried multiple different methods off camera. You know, small nails like brad nails and things like that, they just tear through the aluminum. They don't hold that down. There's too much of it popped up. Staples, I even went as far as going and getting some of my staples from my nail gun, my air compressor nail gun, trying to staple them in, but of course they're too thin. They end up just bending. I wish I had some nice thick staples like the old-fashioned ones that you see that are for wiring in houses and stuff. I feel like I used to have some when I pitched them. I was going to try those, but I don't have any. So at this point, you know, I almost debated putting some screws into it to screw that sheet metal down and then put this on, but what's the point of that? Like, at that point, I might as well just use these screws. I'm just putting more holes through the metal, more opportunity for it to leak. So I'm gonna place everything. I'm gonna start in the middle, put a screw through, press and work my way outward, and That bit really good, but that's also where I put that replacement piece in. Have this piece on. That's a big part, but we got our front flap back down. That's a big part of this. I know that our edge trim is off on both sides. We haven't put any dicor on there yet, but we do have that butyl tape. Now that it's pressed in and pressing down, that's gonna really seal that up underneath there well. Over here we have that roof elevation. You know, I told, like we saw when I took everything off, that this had a gap. There's no gap anymore. So this is solid underneath. That's right here is you know, support underneath. So we are making improvements, although at times I question whether I am or not. All right, just super quick pop in. Those two, it's not the right fix, but it's a fix. I had some 3-inch construction screws. Now this one did pretty much, the head went through there. That one is still good to go. I should have put a washer behind them, but I bit down with that. I'm comfortable with it. Everything's still solid and, you know, really secure down. Got all these along here, all with a good bite. Pressing that butyl tape, you know, everything will bond, everything will mesh. It's fresh, but it's going to start to go. So the next step, I hate going backwards to go forwards, but I think it's the right way. Those edges, I think both sides that need to come all the way off, put new butyl tape behind them, and then put them back on. Not plan on moving any of the metal or anything, just taking those trim pieces or edges, whatever you want to call them, off all the way, new butyl tape, putting them back on. So let's go. They're certainly concerned that I'm messing with things I don't need to be messing with. Absolutely is a concern, but there's definitely some water damage down low. I'm gonna think about all that before I go any further. Clearly water's been running down and gone down there. I'm to debate whether or not I put this piece back on today. This might become a longer, bigger project, which, I mean, that's been the name of the game for a while here. So at least for now, I'm cleaning up butyl tape, cleaning this area up. So let me think about what I'm doing next after that. Okay, I'm about to end for the day. It's a good spot to finish things up because I'm getting overwhelmed. Although I've done so much more and accomplished so much more than I ever thought I could with this camper. But this is totally rotted out down here. Now I know about that. I think I can peel this skin back and replace the piece from the outside rather than do all that on the inside. But we're gonna find out later. Ideally tomorrow, we'll see. For now, you see that the sun is much lower in the sky. Let me wrap up our initial thoughts. The roof, I got the top back down. I got the butyl tape underneath it. I have not put the dicor on yet. Is it possible? Is it a first timer? Can he do that? Yes. I like to mess around, but I'm not great at things. First time ever. Can I do it? Yeah. I'm embarrassed I ever had that wishful thinking thought of it being like an hour job. That was dumb. If you're going to do it and you're a first timer, it's going to be a whole day job. Plan your whole day around it. Just assume that. If you get done at noon because you're better and faster and smoother than me and you have less obstacles, great. Go to Costco, go to Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond if it still exists around you. I don't think it exists anywhere, but you know what I'm saying. You know, I've bought this camper for my own enjoyment, to remodel, to grow, something I wanted to do, and I have been doing. So I'll fix this too. But I think, you know, you need to know when you need to stop for the day, and I need to stop for the day.